Welcome to the Build Idaho Podcast. My name is Trey Lankford, and for 18 years, BuildIdaho.com has been the leading real estate resource here in the Treasure Valley. And we're excited to have you join today's podcast. My host today is John Miniger.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody today? Today, we're going to make some very happy people. One of our services here is having a partnership with Jeremy, who's taking a home that would normally be priced at a lower value and showing us how we can maximize the potential of that house and get a maximum list price.
And when we talk about maximize, we're really talking about what could the home be worth if it were dressed accordingly.
Yeah.
100%. So tell us more about what you do.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate being here. And so basically, I own a company called ReUp. It's actually a franchise across the United States, so it's not just a local company, but it's a nationwide company, and I own the local area is what I own. And what we do is we partner with realtors who have clients whose homes are they just need love, right? You know, you look at their home, and you're like, okay, if we could come in here. Right now it's worth here, but if we could come in here and actually do this remodel, we could sell it for here. What ReUp does is we're that middle guy. We're going to come in, we're going to finance the remodel with no money up front out of your client's pocket. We're going to manage that remodel so that they can sell it for that max value. And the great thing is we actually work with the realtors. You guys help us understand where we need to take that home to. So we don't want to over remodel it, but at the same time, we want to make sure we can sell that for the highest value for your client.
So tell me a little bit about. Well, let's just use some real numbers right now. Like,
Sure.
What is possible with working with you and a home? And what are some of the criteria of working with a home?
For sure. So what is possible is any home that is around the 2012 or older that has not been remodeled. If obviously it's had some work done to it, there's not a lot we can do. But if it's 2012 or older, we can step in and we can actually help your client get that max value. So, like for example, we just did one. We're doing one right now that's going to close in a couple of days. It was worth about $395,000. We put $94,000 into it, and we sold it for $570,000.
Wow. Big adjustment.
Yeah, so the client, because of how the profit, because we do profit sharing with them, but the client's walking away with almost $40,000 more in their pocket for just giving us the keys to their home. And we did it in less than 5 weeks.
Tell me about profit sharing. Like that's got to make some people's ears perk
Sure.
up. What does profit sharing mean?
Sure. So how that works out, we'll just use easy numbers just for math, right? Let's say we have a home that's actually worth $400,000, and we go in and we put $100,000 into it, and we sell it for $600,000. So when the house sells at that $600,000 price tag, we're going to get the $100,000 that we put into the home to help remodel it back. And the great thing is that money comes with no interest, and that number is guaranteed 100%. So when we come in and we actually do the remodel, if I say it's $100,000 and it costs $110,000, I eat $10,000, so that way it protects your guys' clients, because there's a lot of competition out there that are actually promising one number, then coming back and change ordering the customer another number.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So we come in, we know, so with the $400,000 value and the $100,000 remodel, we're at $500,000. You sold it for $600,000, so the difference is $100,000. We take that $100,000 and ReUp takes 50%. And your client takes 50%. So again, if they would have sold it without leveraging our services and our ability, they only would have made $400,000. But with just giving us the keys, they made $450,000 at the end of that sale.
So what would be the ideal home? I mean, what do you think that the market is in the ideal range of age?
Yeah, so like I said, so 2012 or older, that probably wasn't bought in like 2022, because we all know the values were just overinflated there. I mean, there might still be some potential there, but they're a really great client. And if it's a little older than 2012, we just need to evaluate it, because sometimes, as you guys know, some areas just the values blew up faster than others, and so even a 2012 and 13 probably might need some upgrade. But really, it's that age and below. Even if you have clients that are going into pre-foreclosure, we can help them get out of pre-foreclosure, help them get that home remodeled, so that instead of them walking away with a pre-foreclosure or having to do a short sell or a foreclosure on their record, we can actually come in and help them aid their credit and actually help them walk away with a little bit of money in their pocket, hopefully.
So what is that? Oh, go ahead, Trey.
The good news is we're not talking about some HGTV reality show. Like, this is, you actually do it, it works.
Yeah.
And the realtors kind of help both sides of the party, the seller and you, understand what other homes in the area are selling for at top value.
Yeah.
And if we can bring that home from new carpet, new paint, new fixtures.
Yeah.
What are some other primary elements that
Man, if you got a house that needs a kitchen remodel, obviously we know kitchens and bathrooms sell homes, right?
Right.
So if you have a kitchen that needs to be updated, it's always a perfect candidate. because that's what's going to sell the home. All right, we're going to come in, we're going to put new cabinets, countertops, or whatever needs to be done, and we're going to do the same thing in the bathrooms. And that's where you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck. And again, we work with you as realtors. You're telling us, hey, Jeremy, all these houses that are $600,000, this is what they look like. So we're going to remodel it to get to that point, and whatever that looks like. Now, if they don't have all updated stuff and they just need some carpet and then we will only do that because we don't want to do it, because the goal is to make your client the max amount of money. The faster we get a job done, the more efficient we are on a job, the more money everybody makes.
So speaking of that, we have a lot of clients out there that I would say start to take on their own remodels. They start the process, and they start with maybe flooring, or they start with cabinetry, and they never seem to have an end. They just kind of keep going, and they don't stop. And their time frames on a remodel could be anywhere from 5 weeks to a year. What kind of time frames do you deal with our clients?
So most of our remodels right now are happening anywhere between the 5 to 8 weeks, because we are redoing the kitchens, right? We are redoing the bathrooms. If the kitchen and bathrooms were good, it honestly probably wouldn't be a great candidate for us, but it might be. But like the one we're working on right now in central Boise, we replaced the roof, we replaced a lot of rod siding. We ripped out the kitchen. We ripped out the 2 bathrooms. There was a huge common area that was kind of an awkward space. So we actually added 2 bedrooms. And so we turned it from a 3-bedroom to a 5-bedroom, from a 2-bathroom to a 2.5-bathroom. So obviously that remodel takes a lot longer time, just by the sheer of the vastness of what we're doing.
But by adding bedrooms and adding a bathroom, adding value to the house.
Yeah, we're adding a ton of value.
By the tons.
I believe that one was valued at $325, and they're thinking it's $650 to $680. So
wow, that's fantastic.
What a margin.
Help me understand the process of, I have a client whose home needs some love and care, and I tell you, hey, I think if this home were at, decked out, we could get it here. What happens on your side of the table at that point?
So what I would need from the realtor is I need to see the comps for what it's currently worth. And sometimes that's hard, right? Especially if you have a guy like the house we were closing on next week is the husband had a lot of really great aspirations and had a lot of projects that he started that were never completed. So how do you find the value of it?
He's not like other husbands. Other husbands get it done.
They always get it done.
We all
100%. Right? Just don't talk to my wife about it. Yeah, don't talk to my wife about that one, because that's not going to work out well. But she's like, wow, you can remodel everyone's home really fast, but our home is, I'm like, yeah, I know. And so, so sometimes we have to really work with you as realtors and be like, okay, realistically, the person who's going to come in, what are they going to pay for this? And so sometimes it's a little bit less because it needs more work, and we understand that probably it's an investor that's going to come in, and they always lowball. But we'll figure out, we'll work with you, and you tell us what that value is. Then what we also need to see, though, are the comps on what it would be at the highest value. So you're going to say, so we'll just use the same numbers I was using, right? The 400 and the 600. You're like, okay, I think you're going to have, it's going to be 400, and we can sell it at 6. Then our team will come in, we'll meet with you and your client, and we'll go through, we're going to scan the home. We have 3D technology where we scan the home and creates a floor plan, and then actually creates a 3D model of the home. But from that, we actually will create our estimate. Then we'll sit down with your client and say, okay, it's the 400, we're going to put 100,000 into it. Here's a 600,000. Your client says, let's go for it. We sign contracts and we rock and roll.
And the contracts protects both parties. So,
100%.
So what are some of the biggest commitments on the seller?
So the seller does still have to maintain the house payment, and they still have to maintain the utilities. And obviously they cannot live in the home because, we're tearing it apart.
It's chaos.
So,
it is chaos.
What do we do with our homeowners?
So it just depends on where they're at. We actually have if there's enough room in the budget to do as far as in the upside of the home, we could actually help them either get enough down to buy their next home, or pay for a rental, or do something until that home closes and sells. And so we'll go ahead and front that the money up front. So like the house we're working on Shiloh right now, it was an older lady. She no way could move. She has arthritis. She didn't have a place to go. So we actually we helped her move. We rented the trucks. We paid movers to help her move out. And then we also are paying for her a place to stay right now while we're in the middle of her remodel. And when the house sells, she's going to buy her next house.
So one of the things in real estate that we see all the time is the agent will go to the client's home and they'll ask them, in the perfect world, what is it you guys would like to accomplish? Well, we'd like to sell our home.
Yeah.
And they want to get it sold quickly. They want to get it sold for the maximum amount of money. One of the things that with your partnering up with you that I love to see is that the client comes first.
Yeah, 100%.
The client comes first, and you're contracting them in such a way that they're massively protected.
Yeah.
You're also protected.
Yeah.
What I love to see is the finished product. We saw some finished product from you last week.
Yeah.
What you did to that home was incredible.
Yeah.
Can you tell us just a little bit about what it looks like for the homeowner when it comes to they're staying at like say an Airbnb? Are they able to come check on the progress of the home? Do you feel free to let them come back and watch the progress?
Yeah, we definitely our process is we communicate with them every week on where we're at, and we'll send them photos and videos. We do allow them to walk through the home. We do have to be safety conscious. It is a construction site.
Right.
When we were closing up Silver Sage, there were 12 subcontractors there all at one time. There were literally like 23 people running through the home at one time. It's not a great time for the homeowner to show up because there's a lot of chaos going on. You've got electricians, plumbers, HVAC guys. So we just asked that they coordinate it with us. But yeah, they're 100%. It's their home. And the unique thing about it is our contract is actually with your client, right? And it doesn't negate the realtor's contract at all because it's a separate thing. And we're a mutual investor. So that's why your client's protected. We want that home done right. We're not a lipstick on a pig.
Correct.
We're going to fix everything that's right. With the house on Silver Sage, there was a remodel done where they took the covered patio and ripped the wall out and then made it a part of the living space, but they did it without a permit. So you can't use that as living space. It wasn't insulated, had no electrical in it. It was a great idea, but not complete. Well, we were able to go through, work with engineers, work with the city, take it somewhat apart, get it all approved, and actually gained them 300 square feet in their home from doing that. And we wanted to do that because we understood, wow, that's going to bring a lot of value to your client. It's going to protect that client for not having this space that they can't actually use in an appraisal.
Yeah.
So one of the things I've seen too is that when, as a listing agent is sitting talking to their clients, the clients never seem to have discussed a plan B. We've always got a plan A. Well, that's to sell the house as quick as we can for the most amount of money. You find these clients, we've found that if they've got a plan B, that this could be a very big winner for them to have a plan B.
Huge. And a unique aspect that we actually add to helping the home sell faster is we actually take the home to about 80%, and then we work with the agent and list it. The reason why we do this is we have a customized piece in there. We did ReUp did a research, and they figured out that 70% of people who buy a home after living it for a year have some sort of regret attached to that. It could be something as simple as I don't like the door handles to, wow, I absolutely hate the backsplash of my kitchen or my cabinets in my kitchen. Right?
Or I wish I had a pantry.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we take it to that 80%, and we have 3D models that are going to be in that house. We've set up TVs, we set up an experience center, the whole 9 yards, so that when a buyer walks through, the buyer actually gets to pick the carpet colors, the wall colors, the finishes, some of the tile backsplashes, sometimes it's light fixtures. So you're actually helping your client who's trying to sell the home have an advantage because they can buy the home down the road that's completely finished, or they actually could put their mark on it, and we'll do that before closing. So when we had that offer on Silver Sage, the client came in, they told us the colors they want, they told us the type of carpet they wanted, they told us they want oil rub bronze or glass or nickel finishes, and we completed all of it before closing.
Big win for everybody.
Yeah. So it actually went to market faster. So we got it to market faster because we didn't have to finish the home. We just needed to get it to a certain point. Then we did an open house, and we had an offer in 9 days, and it was basically a little less than full price, but we're in there and we're moving forward. So
in your experience, do you find that not only are we getting a little bit higher price for the home, there's just substantially higher price from the home, we're doing it in a quicker time. Would that be correct statement?
Yeah, especially in this particular home I'm talking about in Silver Sage, it was a great husband who, like I said, had a lot of projects that weren't done. We actually got it to market faster than he could have done. He had a new home, he had a new baby coming, running his business, and he was going to finish the remodels in his old home, there's no way he was going to
No
get
way.
what we got done to it in 5 weeks, and he wouldn't have been able to sell it because his plan was never to remodel the master bathroom, was never to replace the flooring. It had an entrance to the basement that was an outdoor. You can only access the basement from outdoors. We actually flipped the whole staircase around and made it to where you can actually access it from the inside, so it makes it a more usable space. We did so many things he couldn't do, and we did all of it in a less time because this is what we do.
Well, I saw that actually. You actually moved a staircase.
Yeah,
in
we
that
flipped it
particular
completely
house.
around,
You
yeah.
flipped it completely around
Yeah.
and made it completely more usable.
Yeah.
So if someone's listening to this podcast and they're like, hey, like this sounds really good, what questions should they be asking themselves?
Well, it depends if they're an agent or a seller, right?
Right.
If they're an agent, they just need to look through their list and be like, hey, do I have any clients that have houses that are 2012 or older? Because I like to say this, if you have a client that's has a home that's 2012 and older and you're not using us, you're leaving money on the table. You're actually kind of doing your client a disservice. But find that client, bring them to us, give us a call, we'll walk through the process with you and we'll help you. If you're a seller and you have the same home, then it's the same process. Walk around and go, wow, could there be some remodeling? Ask your agent, hey, if we remodeled this, is there enough room, is there enough equity in this home that if I came through and remodeled this, can I, would I get more value out of it? And have your agent contact us.
One of the discussions we had one time was you're all business.
Yeah.
So when we
100%.
talk about the house, we're talking about selling for top dollar. So the fact that I love my little piece over here
Yeah.
that I created when my child was 1 year old doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
We have no emotional attachment to the home. So literally, it's all facts. We're sitting down with the comps that you give us. We're looking at the comps, and we're going to make the right decisions no matter if you love that paint color, if your grandpa helped you lay that orange tile in your bathroom 25 years ago. We'll take that piece of tile. We'll take that piece of tile. We'll frame it for you. We'll give it to you. So
Make it a wall
you
hanger
can
later.
remember it, for what your grandpa did. But we're really making the decisions that are best for your client or for the seller to make the most amount of money possible in the quickest way possible.
All right.
So what can you tell us that there's got to be on something on the flip side of this, like for a buyer? What would that? Can you take a minute and just tell us what that would look like on a buyer's side?
Yeah, there's a couple of advantages for the buyer. One, if you have a buyer, they get to customize the home that the seller's doing. But two, if you're an agent and you have a client and let's say we'll just use the same numbers, they're approved for $600,000, and you're going through the neighborhoods that they want to live in, and you find the house at $400,000. We can actually come in and still do that same model, but for the buyer. And the unique aspect is we'll come in, we'll remodel, we'll put that $100,000 in their remodel into the home again with no money up front out of their pocket. We're financing 100% of that. We're going to take care of 100% of that. But instead of that $100,000 profit going to the seller, 50% of that profit actually goes to the buyer. And in our program, we have it to where the buyer could actually use that $50,000 to go towards their down payment.
Yeah.
So in this example, they almost have 10% down. If they have $10,000 more sitting in the savings account somewhere, they can put $60,000 down, and they have 10% down, which is going to help them on interest rates, which is going to help them in their approval. It's just going to make everything better.
That would be a big upturn for like, say, first-time home buyers.
100%.
Yeah, first-time home buyers being able to get a little bit more money for down payment.
In fact, if you go on our website, reupliving.com, there's a video on there where a first-time home buyer actually used that program and got to do it.
Amazing.
And it's a video testimony of what they did. They're like, we never thought we were going to be able to afford a completely remodeled home and be able to put our own finishes and our own touches on it because they got to pick it out. They were the buyer, so they told us what the carpet colors were, or they did laminate flooring, what the color of the walls were, what kind of cabinet colors they wanted in there. They got to pick all of that, and they never thought that would be possible in being able to find a home in an established neighborhood.
I think we told our listeners today that we were going to make a lot of happy people.
Yeah.
Tell us the biggest spread you've had. Tell us the biggest profit margin you've made for somebody so far.
Probably, boy, that's a good question. We have one right now where they're going to make at least $50K. At least $50K.
And that's $50K net more in their pocket.
If they did nothing. They just said, here, can you have my keys for this one's going to be about 9 weeks because it's a longer remodel. It's a lot of remodel. But just give us the keys for 9 weeks, and you're going to make $50,000. And if you're an agent, you're going to make more in commissions. You make more in commissions on $600,000 than you do a $400,000. Like everybody, the reason why my wife, Kaylin, and I bought into the franchise and signed up for this is because it's one of the very few products that we see in real estate where literally everybody wins. The seller wins, the seller agents win. The buyer wins, the buyer agent wins. The neighborhood wins, the community wins, and we win. Literally everybody wins with this product. It's a phenomenal thing.
So I'm going to give you a little moment to plug yourself. You have bigger aspirations with making your company, and at the meeting one time you told us that if you could do something really good for the world, what would you do?
Oh, so my goal is to someday I want to own a nonprofit that actually helps people who are elderly or like single moms who own homes that need work. We want to go in there and we want to remodel them for free. And so this aligned up with our long-term vision. Obviously, we're not there because that requires resources and finances, right? We're not there, but this is a perfect model because I can find a single mom who needs a home that needs to be remodeled, who wants to sell their home and help them make money out of it. I can help an elderly lady like the one on Shiloh right now. It's an elderly, the home is just too big for her. It's way too much for her. So she could have sold it for way less, or she can actually take this money and she's going to make probably around $45,000 more for just giving us the keys. Plus, it's going to sell faster because the home before was old. It was 1970s original. It had blue countertops, not like Formica blue. It was painted blue. It was tile painted blue.
Are you saying that's bad? I don't know. It sounds pretty good to me.
It felt a little dark,
I don't know.
But so our goal is to help people.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do. Even if you're an investor, we can help you there. We got a fourplex in Salt Lake that we're remodeling. In Seattle, we're actually putting brand new builds on existing properties to help them add value to their property. Like there's a lot. There's limitless possibilities of what we can do through our company.
All right, John, final question.
If you could tell our listeners one real estate tip to help them add to their real estate portfolio, what would that be?
That's a good question. To work with an innovative and creative realtor. Right. Someone who really who's one will be honest with you, which means sometimes even telling you the hard things, right? That sometimes sellers and buyers don't want to necessarily hear.
Right.
But that's a good agent. Lying to someone just to get their business is not a good agent, right? And so find an agent who's innovative, who's creative, who understands your vision, and sign on with them, like Build Idaho.
All right, here's my last question. You've bought a franchise,
Yeah.
and you're an entrepreneur.
Yes, sir.
What advice would you share with someone looking to start a business? What have you learned in the last months or years?
Probably two things. One, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
And two, who you surround yourself with matters.
Yes.
The people around you matter.
That's
the people
great
you
advice.
do life with matter.
That's
we're,
cool.
we're able to do like legit. We remodeled that house. We have the fastest house remodeled in the history of the franchise. We did it in 5 weeks. That is not because of Jeremy. That is because of Gabe and the other team members that we have on our team that actually crushed it. And without them, there's no way I could be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so who you surround yourself around matters. And because it's not necessarily even the talent, it's the voices. Starting a business is scary. So you need people who are going to speak life into you. You need people who are going to speak, towards you and encourage you. And even when things seem down, that are going to be there to help push you and support you and be there with you. So that matters.
That is great advice.
Yeah.
Well, here are my takeaways for today's podcast. If you have a home that's 2012 or earlier, you're thinking about selling, if you've not taken amazing care of that home over the last years, and you'd like to maximize value, we have a plan to maximize value for you, but this is that times 4. So if you'd like to talk to us about actually getting your home in the market and seeing what we could raise the price to with the help of services, or if it's not there, just what we need to do to get that home maximized value possible to, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. And thanks for joining today's podcast.